What is good, you guys? This is Steven with All Talk On, and today we're going to be taking a look at the TT eSports by Thermaltake Challenger Prime keyboard. Now, this is a very budget-minded keyboard, coming in at roughly about $30, depending on where you look. Obviously, prices vary $5 to $10 here and there in either direction, from anywhere from 28-ish to 35 is where I would see this being priced at for the most part. Now, coming in at only about $30, this keyboard has a lot of features. Definitely something to keep in mind if you are on the budget and you are looking for something that you can use for gaming. Now, I would say that it is definitely geared towards a certain type of gamer more than others. If you guys saw my Cooler Master Devastator keyboard and mouse, which I will be using as a comparison to this, though the Cooler Master one does come with a mouse and a keyboard for only $30, and this one only comes with a keyboard, I will be comparing the quality of the keyboard and the functions together, because honestly, the mouse is a great addition to it as well, but honestly, the keyboards actually line up and pair up pretty good when it comes to the overall quality of the keyboard. Now, main thing with this one that I guess we'll start with the dislikes I guess I had with this keyboard is the fact that it has an extremely membrane feel to it. You can definitely tell this is a membrane keyboard. When I watched a lot of other reviews, I had no idea it was going to be like this. I thought it would have more deeper keys and a more tactile feel to it, like the Cooler Master Devastator keyboard, but it does not. It is also very big in size, very light, and obviously very flimsy, but honestly, what can you expect for $30? Now, as you can see, we do have 6 macro keys on the side here, which are fully programmable, as well as 3 settings that you can definitely use. It is a very awesome keyboard for the price. So we have a nice little wheel at the top, which controls the brightness of the LED, allowing you to set your brightness depending on your mood, or say the lighting in your room, and you know, the list goes on. We have full media keys with the play, forward, backward, volume up and down, and mute, which all function just fine. We have the My Computer button. Basically, you press it and it pops up your My Computer, as well as your Home button, which opens up the home page on your internet browser, and an email button for just easy accessibility to all those applications. We also have a function key on here, which allows you to hold the function key, and this keyboard comes jam-packed with 3 different LED color settings, as well as one, I don't know what you would necessarily call it, LED function, I guess. It basically puts it into pulsing mode, so where it pulses the color at you instead of just sitting fully lit. That is the only extra LED function it has, besides the fact that it can change colors. Now, overall, like I said, when I looked at other reviews, I thought that the keyboard would have more of a deeper key and tactile feel. It has a very short keystroke and activates pretty much as soon as you press the key, which isn't something for me. That's one of the issues I had with it, but for $30, you definitely cannot complain. Overall, the keyboard just works like it should. Works great. Like I said, I didn't like the fact that it just doesn't feel as, I don't know how to exactly put it. I didn't like the way it doesn't feel like a full-on gaming keyboard, though it has the very gaming aggressive look on it. I will say this, that is one thing I like about the Devastator keyboard, is that it definitely has more of a mechanical feel. Though it is a membrane keyboard, the Devastator combo mouse and keyboard, the keyboard in that one has deeper keys, a longer keystroke, and overall just firmer keys. When you press them, they don't feel like literally it takes no pressure to push down this membrane keyboard, and it activates really easily, like I said, which is something I personally do not like. So this is definitely good for the certain type of gamer with your 6 different macro keys and your 3 different profile settings at the very top to allow you to switch between both, as well as the LEDs actually change depending on which profile you are in, as well as you can actually set your LEDs to change depending if you're in gamer mode, which this does have the gaming mode. By hitting the function key and the little key with the controller puts you into gaming mode, which disables the window key. Overall, it actually works really cool, and it's a little, not a little actually, it's a very good feature that when you're in gaming mode, you can tell by having different LEDs set to it. So that way, you just know what your keyboard's doing, I guess disabling the Windows button or not, or setting it to different macros, or setting it to different profiles. That way you can tell when you're in a different profile compared to if you're in another one, so you're not sitting there guessing which profile you're in. So they did definitely cover the bases with this keyboard, as well as you can use your function key with the F8, F7, and all the F buttons, and they give you some extra features that they have on there, like bringing up your calculator or refreshing the page, as well as forward and backward, which is also a good thing to have, I guess. As well as you can change the hertz for the poll rate. You can turn it up or down with the F4 and F3 keys with the function. So overall, like I said, for $30, you can't expect a whole bunch. We do have rubber feet on the bottom of the keyboard, as well as stands. The stands do not have rubber feet on them, though, and honestly, a lot of keyboards don't really have that in general, so you can't really expect it from something that only costs about 30 bucks. But overall, Thermaltake did do a really good job. Things I would have liked to have seen, though, is a little bit smaller. This keyboard is very big, but if you're into that aggressive look, then that is obviously for you. But at the same time, I feel like they make these things look aggressive because they're cheap and they want the people that don't know any better to buy one. Granted, that being said, this is still a very good keyboard, and as long as you don't mind the feel of an actual membrane keyboard, you will not have a problem. If you are looking for something that has more of a tactile feel, with bigger spacing between the keys so you can tell easier, as well as deeper keys and longer keystrokes and more of a firmer press on the keys, definitely look into the Cooler Master Devastator mouse and keyboard combo. It runs for the same price, and like I said, I like the feel of that keyboard way more, though I do like the LED options and function options of this keyboard better. So it looks like Thermaltake went in one direction towards functionality and features, and Cooler Master went in the other direction of in how it feels more like an actual gamer keyboard. And now I know I've been up-talking the Cooler Master Devastator keyboard a lot and comparing it to this one. In my opinion, I do like it better, but of course, this has its features that that one does not, and some things that Thermaltake definitely beat Cooler Master in, besides the extra options and features that this keyboard has, is the cord, for instance, is a nice little braided, thin and flimsy it may be, but it is braided, which is a nice added feature that they have that the Cooler Master does not. A bigger wrist rest, obviously, with nice little grids on here for, I guess, grip, I guess. Some other things that they beat them on is obviously the changing LEDs, as well as the keys are completely visible with or without the LEDs on. If you guys remember in the Cooler Master Devastator one, the keys are pretty much completely blacked out, and you do need to have the LEDs on in order for you to see the keys basically at all. Otherwise, it looks like just a bunch of black keys on a keyboard. This one, however, they are kind of like a grayish white color, and you could definitely see them. Looks like your standard normal keyboard. Turn the LEDs on, and it fully lights up perfectly fine. And another feature that this keyboard also has is that when you start your computer up, the LED will automatically turn on or off, I guess, depending on what you had it last set at. So if you last had it set on when you turned your computer off, when you turn your computer on the next time, the keyboard would automatically turn on. Now with the Devastator keyboard, it does not do that. You have to turn the backlight on every single time you start your computer, which definitely makes it more of a hassle, seeing the fact that you can't see the keys without the LED, which I kind of wish they would have switched that feature, because you could definitely see the keys on this one just fine without the LED. As far as the Cooler Master one, you can't, and this one turns the LEDs on automatically when starting your computer, which is definitely, like I said, a nice feature. Overall, though, I'm not sure. Maybe my keyboard's defected then, because mine doesn't turn the LEDs on. I have to turn them on automatically every time I turn my computer on, which is only just pressing the scroll lock button. Another thing this has is having its own function key. That way you can turn the light off without actually activating your scroll lock. Unlike the Cooler Master's keyboard, you activate the scroll lock or turn on and off the scroll lock whenever you turn your LEDs on or off, which is definitely a downside if you are a fan of the scroll lock, which I haven't really been able to figure out what it does, so you can explain to me in the comments. I'm a noob. But anyways, you guys, overall, this keyboard is very solid for $30. If you are an MMORPG player, I would definitely recommend this one. Like I said, with the extra macro keys, as well as the profile setting keys. If you're also an LED nut and like a very aggressive looking keyboard, this is definitely one to go with. if you cannot stand the feel of a membrane keyboard and cannot stand that it feels like I said, this feels completely like a membrane keyboard. There is no mistaking it at all. If you don't mind that, then that's fine. But if you do mind that, I wouldn't suggest it. If it drives you nuts like it drives me nuts, I will be switching back to my other keyboard and giving this one to my little brother. But overall, for $30 if I had to choose, obviously, in my opinion, I would go with the Cooler Master Devastator mouse and keyboard combo and just take the keyboard out of that. But if this is what's right for you, then obviously go for it. You guys have to make the decision on your own. I'm not sure if this is something that would bother you, but how the keys feel was just a complete deal breaker for me. But like I said, it doesn't feel bad. It just feels like a complete membrane keyboard. I do have a Razer Black Widow that I have in my room as well. And like I said, the Cooler Master one just has way more closer of a feel on the keys compared to this one. But overall, great keyboard. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I've been gone for a little bit. I ended up having to completely rewipe my computer, redo everything, and do a fresh install of Windows. I was having some driver and registry issues that was causing my computer to completely freeze up about 70% of the time when I plugged a USB drive in. Sometimes it would just lock up for a second. Sometimes it would freeze up so bad I had to turn my power supply off just to get the system to shut down. So I tried messing around with the drivers, uninstalling them, reinstalling them, tried messing with the registry. Nothing was helping, so I just decided to do a complete wipe of my drives and then reinstall Windows. So I've been setting my computer back up over the last week, and that's why I haven't really been on YouTube too much. But now my computer is more or less set back up to how I'm going to be using it, and I have no more driver issues. But anyways, you guys, this is Steven with All Talk On, and this is the TT eSports by Thermaltake Challenger Prime Budget Keyboard. I'll catch you guys later.